This meeting is being live streamed, but staying in this meeting, you consent to being.
Yes, I think we should be live now. We should be live on my page right now. Welcome, my friends. Welcome, everyone. I am here today with Lori Zacco, and I'm just having a little bit of a talk time. It's my first time getting a chance to talk with her, and I'll tell you what I'm doing is I am just speaking to people. I'm just speaking to friends. I'm just speaking to people in my groups. I'm just speaking to people that I've met along my route, along my way to healing myself. Just the people that I've met along my way to my own healing journey. I've started a page. Global Health and Wellness is my group. Please join my group if you haven't yet. All of these videos that I'm recording will be shared in the group. They're shared in our chats. We have a group chat. We have a weekly exercise program for everyone that would like to participate. That's available for everyone in the group. Every Sunday morning, it's a free workout. And this is just one of our friends that's in the group. This is one of my new friends, Lori. It's my first time talking with her. And I'll tell you, I just noticed from what she was saying that she had some insight about health. And I think it's so important right now to share insights about health, because there is so much misinformation, miseducation that's out there right now, and this misinformation and miseducation is making people sick. It's getting people sick. It's getting people sick by polluting their minds with limited thoughts and limited beliefs, and beliefs that we need to be afraid of our health or afraid for our health. And I want to tell people that this is not the truth, that you can reclaim your health. You can come back to your health. You can lose the weight. You can heal your pain. You can overcome any sickness, illness, or disease. And I'm talking any sickness, illness, or disease can go away. That's what I said. Yes, it is. That's what I said. This can happen. And I'm just talking to people that have had some sort of experience with this and are ready to share about how it happened. So Lori, please, Lori, let us know a little bit about you. What happened to you? What did you find? What did you learn? What have you found out about health and wellness and joy and happiness? And I'm talking to people that are over 40, over 50, over 60. Lori, please tell us how old you are, where you live, what you're doing, and what you've learned, and a little bit about yourself and your life.
Okay, I am 59 years old, and I was raised in Central Florida, and I've been self-employed since 1986. And I started studying nutrition and health when I was about 15 years old. My sister turned me on to the Fit for Life book by Harvey and Marilyn Diamond. And I still have that book. In fact, it's in my RV as we speak, because it's a book that got me started. And so I'm just really into the study of health and nutrition, and it's taken me this long to feel like I finally have it semi understood. And I lost close to 100 pounds I discovered the raw vegan gluten-free lifestyle after going to a functional medicine doctor, and him telling me I had Hashimoto's. And I've had thyroid issues since about 1999. So I've been on thyroid medication since then. And then from the last doctor, I've discovered that I have Hashimoto's disease also. So But it really doesn't affect my life that much because, I have learned how to eat, how to exercise, how to sleep, how to keep a social life, how to keep my finances. In other words, keeping the stress as low as I can. So my every day to day life, I can't complain. It's been pretty good since I took the weight off and finally have come to learn what I need to do in order to feel good. I focused so much on food when I was young. Um, and ironically enough, somebody asked me probably about 10 years ago, oh no, probably was about 7 or 8 years ago, that I think that my eating problem and habits stem from emotional issues. And I looked at her and I'm like, what are you talking about? No, I don't think so. Well, since then I learned that, I used to think it had nothing to do with emotional issues, and now I think it has everything to do with emotional issues.
So
So
true.
you
So
just kind of
true.
learn and go, but you keep searching, keep studying, keep listening, and that's really what it took for me to get to where I'm at now. Yeah. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
So you lost 100 pounds.
Yes. And it happened when I think it happened mostly because I just stopped eating junk. I mean, we kind of bicker about what to eat and when to eat and what, but to me, it was just a matter of getting off of junk and then slowly, kept learning, kept studying, kept, and ran into some people online, then ended up going to the Woodstock Fruit Festival and then going on retreats and meeting and going, just keep searching, keep going, even if it was kind of embarrassing to be in my 50s going to this event where it looked like everyone was in their 20s to go. And I just told myself, no, I'm too old to go to that. And then
How
my
old are
friend,
you, Lori?
I'm 59. The first time I
Amazing.
went,
I'm so grateful that you're sharing here with me because I think a lot of people over 40 or 50 or even close to 60 are thinking that, it's just old age and they have to accept things, as the aging process. What do you have anything to say about old
well,
age?
I don't think any of us escape old age. If we're lucky enough, we'll get there. But what I do believe is I want to be active. I want to be in a good mood. I want to be have nice friends. I want to be able to sleep well. I want all these things as I'm getting older because I'm one of the luckier ones that are getting older. So I want to have a happy old age, and I want to be able to keep feeling good, and in order to do that, I have to keep all these things going. That all the spokes of the wheel have to be there. You could be eating right, sleeping right, and have all these things in order, but if you have a stressful relationship with your spouse, or you hate your parents, or whatever the case may be, you thwart your health that much as you um have those stressors going on. So not that any of us are void of stressors, because none of us are, but I try to minimize those things as much as possible. And everyone can do that, their own way, on their own timetable and so forth. But I think it's important to, lower those stressors as much as possible. Because if you have everything right, but then you're stressed about five things, then that's going to take away from health and longevity. So
So true. And I like what you said. When you were young, you were really focused on food, and I related to that because in my youth, as a competitive bodybuilder, that I was really focused on food as well too, and really brainwashed and focused on getting protein and getting calories, and focused on those things. Like that's what I thought health was, and so it was really a shift of my thinking. It was like I had to learn something new in order to have something new happen. So I kind of had to learn some new ideas before something new was possible to happen.
Yes, I definitely experienced that also. That's part of keep searching, keep moving. When I went to that festival, it was a ridiculous, my friend came in the room and said, I showed it to her and she says, we're going to go to that. And I'm like, we are? She's like, yeah. The next thing I know, we're signed up going to New York to go to the Woodstock Fruit Festival. And I think it's either 5 or 6 times that we've been so far. And I was so wrong to think that I shouldn't go there because I would be, feel out of place. So that just wasn't true. There was everyone from toddlers to 80-year-old people, and it's unjudgmental. It wasn't like that, so ended up meeting, whole new, groups of people, and ended up going to Costa Rica and going to retreats and, jumping off of waterfalls. And I mean, just, went on hikes, had a blast. So, we've actually parked the RV at some of these people's homes and, shared life for a little while with these people. So, they became friends and learned about different books to read. It's just one thing leads to another and just keep moving. Yeah.
So you just found your way by getting into different communities, getting into different groups, getting with different people, dialoguing with different people. I think it's so important to get into groups, to have communication with different people. It's about relationship. It's about building new relationships with new people and having dialogue about those things. You got to speak about these things. This is how we learn about it. This is how we learn the incorrect information or the information that made us sick. In order to make ourselves healthy, we got to get into new positive relationships and have dialogue with new positive people that are thinking and speaking about different things, that aren't limited by those limited beliefs anymore. Their brains have been freed from those limitations, and this can happen to every single one of us.
Yeah, and it's like when you hear information, it may sound like far-fetched and really weird, but then if you keep an open mind and you might try some of these things that these people are talking about, you look at what they've done, and then come, do these experimentations and then come to your own conclusion, and have an open mind about these things, and then they don't seem so far-fetched. In fact, they may lead you to where you're trying to go.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
there's a
It's to maintain an open mind with it. I love that, because as soon as you hear something that doesn't fit what you've always heard, what you've always believed, you dismiss it, and that's the problem. You
yeah.
dismiss it and without trying it for yourself. Like, it's like you've got to try something new on in order to discover something new. You won't even find what's possible until you do.
Yeah, I love experimentation. I love to experiment on myself. I learned about nightshade plants, and so I tried that, and then it didn't work because I was working hard at the time and my joints hurt anyway. So then I had to wait until a time where I wasn't working in the garden, and so it just takes time. It takes time to try these things out and to learn about them and see how they work on you. They may work on someone else completely different. Uh, you know, um, so it's just a matter of self exploration, you know. Um, so there's a lot of, do what I'm doing and you'll be healthy, or, but you can take what you need and leave the rest, and then use the part that, from learning from other people. Um, because there's a lot of people to learn from out there now. When I got started in February of 2010, there wasn't many people, to learn from. But it's just exploded. I mean, you couldn't even find gluten-free bread back then. You couldn't find, anything, so you like kind of felt like you're out, kind of alone. And, how am I going to, navigate this raw vegan gluten-free lifestyle? And but there was just enough to learn from, and going to the festival taught us a lot. And so yeah, it's been good. It's been fun, learning and just keeping moving forward.
Can you share a little bit more about, can we talk a little bit more about, emotional healing, relationships. I think that at the root of all sickness and the root of all disease is really this problem, is that there's emotions that are trapped there.
Yeah. 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 There's a lot to that. For me, uh, yeah, it just depends on how you were raised. I mean, I was kind of raised, my dad was Italian and kind of stoic, and he kind of, put that on us, and so I thought I was supposed to go through life like that, and
Not to
uh,
blame our parents, no blame on parents. We accept and forgive our parents, but our parents only knew what they knew and
yeah,
taught us how to love the way that they knew how to love. And
yeah,
so we learned like a little bit of like a, a misconnect with love, a disconnect with love from our family life, and then we go into our life with a little disconnect with love. And it's really to find out how to really love ourselves, love our partners, love our children, love our lives. This is how we do it. And are changing our foods, like you said, you got the crap out of your life with the food. You took a little bit of your focus away from food all the time. And what did you do? You took the junk out. Did you do any fasting?
um, I didn't do much fasting then, and I still haven't done a lot of fasting. Um, I don't know if fasting. I'm still working on the fasting thing.
Mhm.
Uh, I I I absolutely am to the point now where I think less food is a lot better, and so I am doing the Monday no food Mondays. I tried that last Monday. That worked out pretty good. But I noticed that when I fast, I get constipated, and I hate I hate being constipated. So I've kind of shied away from the total, fasting totally.
So you
Uh,
go for 24 hours. Are you able to go 24 hours without
yeah,
food?
yeah, that works out pretty good. A 24-hour fast isn't that big of a deal because of my lifestyle. My lifestyle is to where I eat my last meal around 3 o'clock, and then I go to bed around 8 o'clock. And so I'm sleeping until, 6, 7 o'clock. And so I don't really, usually don't eat breakfast. I'll just have like this morning, I had my little juice, uh, greens and carrot juice. And I always have my lime water in the morning. So that usually holds me over until 11 or 12 or whatever. So, I'm just trying to, believe it or not, someone asked me about it, and I just said, just stay away from food. We already have a propensity to eat too much anyway, so that we don't have to worry about. We have to worry about not putting stuff on our plate, not not so much how much we're going to have to take off of our plate. I like the idea of not putting it on there in the first place. And so yeah, but back to the emotional eating. I no way wanted to blame anything on anybody. In fact, I have some of the best parents in the world. I was I come to appreciate my upbringing more than ever. But the parts that didn't work, I recognized them in me, and I worked to not perpetuate that mindset. And so I learned how to open up my mind. I learned how to listen to other people. I learned how to love other people. I subsequently, from changing my lifestyle, met some really loving, caring, giving, nice people that were able to give me more than I was able to give them at the time. That's what makes them such good friends. But so yeah, it's just a journey, is what they say. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but it is. It's a lifelong journey because after 10 or 15, even more years of being interested in the subject and studying it, mostly for myself, I've just started. I've just started. So it's a short, it's a slow race. It's not a fast race. If it's
No,
gonna
it's not an
work,
overnight switch.
yeah,
It's a it's a slow transition, but if we keep on working this way, it gets better. So
it does.
you've become comfortable with not putting as much food on your plate, and you did that by basically you have to push into a little bit of uncomfortableness. Like that's what fasting is. Like you got to go into a little bit of uncomfortableness. So, you're able to go 24 hours without food. I think practice that every single week. No food Monday. That's one thing that we honor in my group. Some things I try to focus on once a week, going for that longer extended fast. Trying to fast daily. I like what you're saying about having the alkaline water with the lemon water in the morning. Trying to eat later in the day, trying to eat in a smaller window. So, eating my breakfast later, eating my dinner earlier creates a smaller eating window. I want to eat in a smaller eating window as I can so that I stay empty and I'm fasting for a longer period of time. So if I get that 14, 16 hours of intermittent fasting every day, then I'm fasting daily. It's a fasting lifestyle. And once a week, I try to go for a longer, for 24 hours if I can. Right? Start like that. It's a fasting lifestyle. It's a more alkaline diet. It's a fruit focused diet. It's a fruit and vegetable diet. It's a reduced meat diet. It's a reduced meat and fat. It's a reduced cooked and processed food diet. It's cutting down on the cooked and processed foods, and it's getting moving. I think you even joined in. Every Sunday in our group, we've got Natural Health Sunday. We got a free workout for everyone in the group. It's 60-minute workout, 30 minutes of invigoration, 20 minutes of yoga, 10 minutes of mindfulness and meditation and conscious breath. It's a 1 hour workout, getting you moving, just teaching you how to do it for yourself, teaching you the thoughts and words on the daily basis. We're in our chat. Everyone's welcome to join our chat. Talk with us in our chat on a daily basis. It's getting around those thoughts, getting around those words, having those dialogues, having that discussion. That's how something new happens. Pressing into a little bit less food. It's a little bit uncomfortable. Emotional stuff comes up. And this is how we heal. And when we heal and release that emotional stuff leaves our body and life. And now our bodies are free to create or do something else with that energy. Something new can happen once we remove the emotional blocks that are trapped underneath, the stuff that's messing up our relationships, that's messing up our finances, and that's ruining our health and giving away our power to disease. So we're taking back the power from disease by changing our food, physical effort, changing our movement, physical effort, changing our thoughts and words, or mental effort. By working on our foods, our movements, our exercise, our mental efforts, our meditation, our thought and word practice, positive thoughts and words towards our relationships and to others, by practicing love and kindness, positive thoughts and words, and fasting and eating less fats and proteins and cooked and processed foods, the body comes into healing. And this is the way that the body heals. It takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of practice. It's a little bit uncomfortable. It's pressing into a little bit of discomfort, but it's okay. If you push through that, you'll find your way. It's kind of get around some other people that have done it, and you can do it too.
Yeah, and you feel so good. You're almost like a different person, when you start to change. And like I said, 10 or 15 years into it, I know no longer it's no longer like this struggle like it was in the beginning. I remember sitting in the car with a friend and I just wanted wings. I wanted to go get wings. And they're like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And so, the feeling I had of the cravings and the mindset, you become a different person. Now I wanted a wings at a number 10 then, now I want them maybe a one or two. So when they come around, I'm able to say, "Nah, that's all right. I don't, yeah, it's okay. I don't want them." It's easier. It's almost like you become somebody else, because before I could hardly even not have them. Now it's like it's easy for me to say I don't want them. When the bread comes to the table, the same thing. So it doesn't remain difficult all the time. I always said, when I was on my losing weight, my cravings would go down about 10% a month. They don't just go away lickety split. They for me, they went away like 10% every month. So after a year, I was good to go. Um, and in that amount of time, I haven't been like so strict the whole time. I may have, that's part of the journey. I went off of it. I came back to it. I came back to it strong this time. And so, sometimes I didn't feel good about it. Sometimes I felt great about it. So but I always knew what the right thing to do was. You almost get addicted to wanting to feel that good. I mean, I literally would be riding down the road, noticing a beautiful tree that I went by, 100 times before, but today that tree was beautiful. I noticed a moss hanging from it, and you just kind of almost get in this euphoric state of mind after a while, that you become a happier, you know, more jovial person. You almost feel like, wow, I shouldn't feel this grateful and this good. It's something, something just comes over you, and that happens, quite often. So you almost go, let me get back to that. Let me do the right things again so I can get back to that feeling.
That's awesome.
And again, when I went off of it, then I went back to not feeling so good. It just, they go together. So yeah.
And I like what you said about you don't need to eliminate the meats. You can still have some chicken wings if you want. I like to tell people that you don't need to eliminate these things. It's that we need to bring them back into control. So, I tell people I got my 4-day detox. It's like eating fruits and vegetables predominantly throughout the week, Monday to Friday. And then we relax Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday. We relax a little bit, have some flexible eating, and then pick it back up again with no food Monday, and then get into your 4-day detox again for the next week. So it's a little bit of a cyclical program where you're eating and enjoying some things that you like on the weekend, and then getting back on track. So it doesn't have to be an all or nothing either. It doesn't need to be a complete elimination. It gives you a little bit of flexibility, and then you just get back to your commitment, and you recommit to yourself again every day. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard for me sometimes too, but hey, it's hard to be overweight. It's hard to stay overweight. It's hard to be in the situation that you're in right now. So, I mean, it's not easy to be the way things are. It's not easy to make a change. Like, choose to stay the same, or choose to take back your power and do something different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, did I want to have sleep apnea? I did have sleep apnea. And I woke up probably 40% groggier than I needed to. Got on the sleep apnea machine, was on that for 10 years. And then I lost probably about 80 pounds into it. I went and had another sleep study. And I wanted to get a mouth guard instead of the sleep apnea machine. And I wanted to see if I was eligible just for the mouth guard. And she woke me up, or yeah, I think she did wake me up about 5 o'clock and said, "You're all done." I said, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah, you don't have sleep apnea anymore." I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, you don't need a mouth guard or the machine." So I said, "How many people have you seen?" She says, "I've only seen like you and one other lady that ever did that." And I said, "How long have you been doing this?" She said, 15 years. And the other lady had gastric bypass surgery. So it was just a matter of getting the congestion off of my throat. So that was really good. So, that was one thing that, and sleep apnea leads to dementia, irreversible dementia. So it's horrible to have sleep apnea. And I think anyone who wakes up in a groggy state after 7 hours or 8 hours of sleep should have a sleep study done to see if they have sleep apnea, because that's huge.
So you lost 100 pounds and you overcame sleep apnea. Is there anything else that you would want to report about what happened?
I had an ultrasound done. I can't remember of what, but they told me at the time that I had fatty liver disease, and that was in 1999. And I said, "Well, how can you tell?" She said, "Well, there's white lines on your liver that show that you have fatty liver disease." And I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah." So I was in for an ultrasound 10 or 15 years later or whatever. And I can't remember exact dates right now, but they were looking for something. I said, "Can you look at my liver and see if what you think about it?" She said, "Well, your liver looks fine." I said, "You mean you don't? I don't have fatty liver?" She said, "No, you don't." So I said, "Well, how can you tell?" She goes, "Well, you'd have white lines on your liver if you had fatty liver disease." So that was reversed. Um, so I started out at about 240. And I got down to 151, and my goal weight was 150. I weighed 151.2. I never did get down to the 150, but now my new goal weight is 140. So, because I gained back about 20 pounds after I was at my lowest, and now I'm back down to about 160. So now I want 140 now. I'm not, the 150 is out the window.
I like that you've shared that it's a little bit of an up and down. It's a little bit of coming off track and getting back on track, and this is how we get back on track.
Yeah.
This is how we do it, through dialogue, through communication, through relationship, through commitment, through recommitment, through thinking about it, speaking about it, making a goal. This time of year, starting the year again, this is what we're doing. We're making our goals, we're making our plans, we're talking about what we're doing, we're talking about where we're going, we're talking about healing ourselves, changing ourselves, fixing our lives, changing our lives ourselves. We're doing it in our group. Come and join our group and do it along with us. Exercise with us, join in for No Food Monday, get my 4-day detox in the group. Get into my chat. Let's dialogue together. Let's share about these things. Let's talk about these things. Let's talk about changing our life in 2022. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, Lori.
My pleasure. Thanks for asking.
Grateful for having you in the group. Grateful for having you around. And I look forward to continuing to see you on Sunday mornings.
All right. Well, yeah, keep it up. I think you're helping a lot of people.
Thank you.
All right, John. Have a good
See you
day.
later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.